It's James Steinhubel on TVU. And this week we have Lerena Greig, Executive Director of the PEP Society. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks, James.
Excellent, excellent. It's great to have you here. And a very interesting organization, a very important service that you provide to the community. And just give a little introduction about yourself, and then what's the PEP Society all about? What do you do?
Okay. So thank you for having me. My name is Lerena Greig, and as James said, I'm the Executive Director of Empowering Parents PEP Society. We've been around for 16 years. We were founded in Strathcona County, and we help families and individuals who have a loved one struggling with substance use or addiction. So our foundation is basically our family recovery group, and that's for family members, caregivers who would like to come and be educated and supported. All our groups are professionally facilitated by people who are trained in addictions, recovery coaching, trauma-informed care, and knowledge-based experience.
Now you guys have lots on the go. So let's talk about that. So you have meetings, parent mentorship, and the U-turn program.
Yes, so thank you, James. So currently, of course, all of our meetings are virtual based on COVID and the limitations with face-to-face meetings. So our family recovery group meets every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and every other Thursday at 7 p.m. And in the near future, we're going to be adding another program, possibly Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And those meetings have two components. They have an education component. So the education component is based on addiction, recovery, subjects like boundaries, codependency, and then there's support in the group. A go around and a check in with everybody just to see where people are at. Then the U-turn group meets every second Tuesday, so bi-weekly at 6:30 p.m. Same platform, virtual platform via Zoom. And U-turn is for youth 16 to 24 who are in active substance use and or addiction and are looking at maybe finding other coping strategies. And it's narrative therapy. It's non-judgmental, a safe place for kids to share and to possibly make different decisions.
Now,
The mentorship, sorry, James,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I do want to talk a bit. We also have a restorative justice component of our family recovery group, and that's called MEDEX. And these are people that have been referred to us through the drug court, the drug treatment court. They've been charged with trafficking drugs, and they are on their own recovery journey, and they sit in on the family recovery group, recognizing the impact of their lifestyle on families in the community, including their own, and also become a valuable resource to the family members. And we really do we see stigma being broken in our groups. We see it being a safe place for everybody to be supported and to change the direction that they're going in. It really is recovery for both the person that was struggling with the addiction and the family member.
And the person who was bringing it to them, right? And all that
Yes, exactly.
all that they were wrapped up in. That is so.
Right.
The wisdom of it. The wisdom of it is profound. It's very interesting.
Yes, yeah, and of course they'll say, our MEDEX participants will say that they're real with the families, and they'll give them insight into what their own loved one may be trying to do in their addiction, and what that might look like. And then they also they also recognize what happened and what they did to their own family. So there really is a circle of healing. It really becomes a circle of healing between the family members and the person seeking recovery, and the one that was struggling with addiction. So, and it gives the parents hope because they watch these kids or these adults moving into recovery, and so they believe that recovery can also happen for their child or for their brother or for their sister or their loved one, right?
What like, of course, restorative justice, they're directed there, which is unbelievable. This is fantastic. Instead of just, punished and sent back at it. It's so good. But also other people are coming to that same program that just come to it, right? Just by their own decision. What kind of things, are people feeling, in that moment before they decide that, yes, as a family, we're going to come do this?
Yeah, well, I think that unfortunately there's still a lot of stigma around addiction, and many of our family members come in with an attitude of first of blame and shame. They feel that shamed. Of course, we don't allow that. We tell them that that's not theirs to carry. And I think there's a fear of judgment. I think for people to step in that room takes courage, but they need to know that our groups they're there. The power really of our family recovery group is the support of each other. I mean, the education is wonderful. It gives them knowledge, but really how they get strengthened and step into their own recovery is the power of the group and the support of the group, and that everybody is there and they're not alone.
Now, I want to talk about you're growing, right? And other communities are picking. But before we talk about that, talk a little bit about when the PEP Society was founded, and who founded it, and what just a little bit about the core values, because they're so interesting.
Yeah. So the group was founded 16 years ago by three women. A woman who was a family support worker, another woman was a probation officer, and then a parent. And what happened was how these three women came together was they saw the need in the community in Sherwood Park, to be specific. Parents were raising their voice. Meth had hit the community, and nobody understood the crystal meth and the impact of it, and it was it was overwhelming. And of course, meth still exists today. So they found that there was lots of services to help the person struggling with the addiction, but not many services to help the family who was their support system, right? So PEP started a first meeting and thought, well, we'll just see how the community responds to it. And I think the very first meeting, over 40 people showed up, and we've been doing it ever since. And then we just kind of had a natural metamorphosis into growth. So we added the restorative justice component, we added U-turn, the mentorship. We have a support line, which is available days, evenings, and weekends. All our services are free. We don't want anybody. We didn't want to give any barriers to people coming. So we've managed to find funding in the community. Strathcona County is one of our major funders. So many people in the community have come together and supported what we do so that we can continue to offer the services free.
And now, more communities are getting involved with PEP Society.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So we grew fairly quickly into South Edmonton. So we have a face-to-face meeting in South Edmonton. Sunrise Community Church supports us with their facility. They sponsor us with that, and we have and in 2019 we started a group in St. Albert. And again, the community came together to support us. So the Canadian Progress Club in St. Albert, the men's and the Silks division, put together money so that we could step into St. Albert, the Edmonton Community Foundation. So again, the community coming together, community groups, community support coming together so that we can move into other locations and offer that to their residents.
And now, with the basically everybody communicating on Zoom, you guys have really, got involved with that, and it's really expanded your reach as well.
Yes, it has. And we've been approved for another grant. We haven't received the monies yet, but they are to come. And that is going to allow us to do a permanent virtual group. So this permanent virtual group, and possibly a 1-800 number. So our support line can be accessed for people across Canada. But our virtual group, which will allow us to expand to all communities across Alberta. So removing barriers of transportation, barriers of so many barriers of location. So we're quite excited about that too. So now we can say we're going to be a province-wide organization. We've gone from a basis of Sherwood Park, Alberta, to a province-wide organization in 16 years. So that's great.
It is so exciting and so good for the community. So brave too, because these are very challenging things for families to come together. And so, what's important right now? So before we go, what would you like to say to the community now? Because now this will go into all 14 communities that TVU's in, not just Sherwood Park, Strathcona, which we're thankful for, but it'll be across the province. What would you like to say?
Yeah. I want people to know that they're not alone. Please don't isolate. Stay connected. We can help. PEP can help. We have a great team. We have people that can empower your family to step into recovery. To know that you need to be healthy in the midst of this, because it is a battle, and you need to be healthy. So when your loved one does seek help, when they come to that place to seek help, they come back to a strong, healthy caregiver and family unit. I guess the strongest thing I would say is there's hope, and you are not alone. Please reach out. We can help. PEP can help.
And how do people get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to the website, www.pepsociety.ca. So that's www.pepsociety.ca. We have a support line that's available days, evenings, and weekends. That's 780-293-0737. Again, that number is 780-293-0737. Again, our support line is also professionally managed. All our groups are professionally facilitated by people who are prepared to empower you through this journey.
It's so good. It's so awesome and so good. Thank you, Lerena.
Thank you for having me, James. And
Lerena,
thank you to your listeners. And just one other thing I'd like to say is that PEP would not be where it is if it wasn't for the community and the support that we get in each and every community. So I'd just like to thank our supporters, because again, we wouldn't be able to provide the free services we provide without our supporters. So thank you for that.
Lerena Greig, Executive Director. Yes, you're welcome. Lerena Greig, Executive Director of the PEP Society in Sherwood Park, but now reaching out and available all across Alberta. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James.